Welcome back for another video. What are the top all-time managers doing for Gameweek 11? It's the last game week before the last international break of the year. Let's break it all down then. And if you'd like to benefit from these every game week to make sure that your decision making is sharp, then hit subscribe below. It's free and you can always change your mind. So we'll start off with the manager highlight then. And our top ranked expert is the Football Chatter, who sits at 25k overall after a score of 72 points. Not enough for a green arrow, but still on fire this season. Suchant got the biggest score in the league with 95 points, absolutely smashing it, and considering no chip was used as well, plus they're on a different structure to most teams. They've got Salah and Haaland, so it's great to see other setups doing well this season. This week, just over a half are rolling, 25% are making one transfer, 15% making two, and 7% making three. One manager's making 4 transfers. Surprisingly, not a single hit despite all those transfers made. Lots of rolled transfers basically. Lots of us have kind of got our hand forced this week, like Gyökeres is out injured till after the break. Gordon went off injured in the Champions League as well in the first half, and that doesn't look great either. Seems to be a reoccurrence of his hip injury. So let's take a look at the breakdown. Who are the most bought and the most sold players then? This week, Mateta is number 1 again for the second week in a row, albeit just the 12% this week by him. By the way, that means he's now the 3rd most owned player among the top all-time managers with a crazy high 92% ownership, and that's compared to 24% overall. It's worth mentioning the number 2 most owned player is Dubravka, who most of them aren't even starting. The Gyökeres injury obviously will have helped inflate that a little bit, but either way, a lot have been looking to sell the Arsenal striker soon anyway. He's just not being consistent with the returns, and Havertz is nearing return as well, which could mean shared minutes and early subs. So Thiago is in number 2, and he's that cheaper alternative for Mateta, but obviously does fit nicely in the front 3 of Haaland, Mateta and Thiago if that's how you set up. He's only 6.2 mil. 4.67 expected goal involvement this season, ranks 9th in the entire league, which is very respectable for only 6.2 million. Låbakk for 6.5 mil, coincidentally, on basically the exact same XGI for the season. But yeah, the experts are clearly favouring the Brentford forward though. I mean, Welbeck's not getting any younger, the schedule's about to get busier, and there is some depth there with Rotte, who can play striker if needed. So yeah, it's definitely down to opinion, but Thiago perhaps feels a little bit more secure, and overall a better injury record. So the most sold is Gyökeres, and then it's Reinders and then Gordon. Of course, Reinders goes and starts against Dortmund in the Champions League midweek, and he goes and gets 2 assists. Haaland with yet another goal that game as well. Foden with a brilliant brace as well. He looked unbelievably sharp. 2% planning to sell Foden. Lots of comments about Cherki in videos this week, given he's looked really sharp himself. And again, it's kind of down to preference there, but right now, does he definitely look nailed for every game? Like maybe at some point he will be, but right now it is a bit of a risk. Largely speaking, as some general FPL advice, you'll do better in FPL long term by picking nailed players. Otherwise, inevitably, there will be weeks where you're waiting for the lineups drop, and you're panicking like, where's my player in this list? And they're on the bench, and they come on for a 1-pointer. João Pedro and Sarr are the joint 3rd most bought then, 8% buying them both. A 9-pointer for João Pedro last game week against Spurs after being the most sold player. After not having a single shot on target since Game Week 3 before that as well. And he really should have had more that game. 1.99 XGI against Spurs. He was actually the biggest XG underperformer last game week despite scoring. So he's got Wolves home, and then he's got Burnley away, Arsenal home, Leeds away. It is a pretty good run, but yeah, a lot have binned him off and they don't plan to go back. Some other top transfers to mention: Enzo, Saka, and Bumo, Rice, Minte all being bought by 3%, and then Bruno, Gabriel, Caicedo and James 2% each. There is a chip active this week. 12% in fact have got the bench boost active. No wildcards, free hits or triple captains this week. 82% still sitting on that free hit as well. And the thing is, there really isn't a clear best week for it, which is the problem. And a lot of people are just kind of sitting and hoping an opportunity presents itself. You know, maybe, I think it's game week 13 and 14. Man City have got the early kickoff. Maybe we'll get some early team news and that could be an opportunity. Like, imagine there's a leak that Haaland doesn't start in game week 13 or 14, given they do have the early kickoff. Then I'm going to free hit that week and just swap Haaland for Salah for 1 week basically. So yeah, sensible play coming into those weeks is to sort of build a free hit draft in anticipation just in case. Realistically, probably starts all games, but those are the opportunities. Small opportunities that can end up being massive ones. If it ends up a big swing, Salah does well, Haaland ends up bench, maybe comes on for 1 point. Anyway, yeah, the free hit, in terms of the second half of the season, it's going to be optimal in either a blank or a double game week, but we just don't have one in the first half of this season. Liverpool have got West Ham away, Sunderland home coming up as well, so you could use it as an opportunity to free hit some Liverpool players in. And obviously that West Ham week for Liverpool is when Arsenal have got Chelsea away in Gameweek 13, so you could potentially reduce yourself to just one Arsenal defensive asset, or maybe hop off entirely for 1 week and just back Chelsea to score. So maybe Gameweek 13 would be a good case in terms of upcoming game weeks. Anyway, FPL Alternative is hunting a 5th top 10k finish and planning to bench boost for Gameweek 11. His team is Areola, Timber, Gabriel, Anderson, Saka and Bumo, Enzo, Semenyo, Sarr, Mateta and Haaland. So the bench is Dubravka, Calvert-Lewin, Rodon and Senesi. Bench boost looks okay this week, and I just want to get it out of the way so I can take the funds out of the DCL spot by swapping him to a base price forward. I don't love any of the fixtures for my bench, but they're not terrible. The DCL potential injury is a bit of a spanner in the works. I would have to use 2 transfers to swap into another forward, as nobody 5.5 mil or below, I've got nothing in the bank, could be guaranteed to start. I have 3 free transfers, but I think I may just wait on the bench boost if DCL is out. I could look at bringing in Bowen or Thiago to replace DCL and downgrading a midfielder to fund this, but I'm not convinced it's a good use of transfers. So the final decision will be a late one once the press conferences have taken place. It's a lot of deliberation really, given DCL only ever scores 2 points or less for me. In terms of other chips, I've already used the wildcard in Gameweek 8 and triple captain in Gameweek 6 on Haaland against Burnley. I'm still undecided when to free hit. It depends on whether I bring Salah in via transfers. If not, I'll probably free hit in a week that I want to captain him over Haaland, maybe Gameweek 12. Thanks for sharing your team of thoughts with us. Best of luck this week. Captaincy next then, and it's an interesting one because of course Man City face Liverpool, whereas you've got West Ham home to Burnley, Chelsea home to Wolves, Arsenal away to Sunderland. But it is Haaland 89%, Saka 5%, Gabriel 3%, Bowen 2% and Enzo 1%. And it really depends on what version of Liverpool we get in terms of how this game week goes down. Like, they were on that run of 4 losses in a row, 6 losses in 7 games in all competitions, but they have since beaten Aston Villa and Real Madrid this midweek. And this is a huge game, and a Liverpool win actually takes them up to 2nd place. You know the story though, going against Haaland's high risk, high reward. Enzo did get a rest midweek, he came on at half time. Like, if he can come away with a couple of goal involvements as your captain and Haaland does blank against Liverpool, then you're going to make up significant ground on Haaland captainers. Are any of you captaining anyone other than Haaland? Let us know in the comments. Moving on to the experts team for Gameweek 11. So how's the wisdom of the crowd template team looking with all those transfers? There's a few changes to the team and a formation change as well. It's Raya in goal of course. It's Anderson, Gabriel and Richards in the back 3. So in midfield it's Semenyo, Enzo, Bruno, Sarr and Saka. And up front it's Mateta and Haaland. Haaland captain. So Gyökeres, Reinders and Ndai leave the team. And in comes Gu, Enzo and Saka. Famous last words, but the team looks unbelievably strong this week. How many players have you got from the experts template? So looking at ownership then, Mateta's 92% owned now, Gabriel 91%, Semenyo 90%, and then it's Senesi 76%. In terms of those really big opportunity picks for us right now, measured by the difference in ownership among the all-timers versus overall player base, the names that leap out to me are Mateta with a 68% difference, Saka 44%, Sarr 48%, Enzo 39%. And by the way, the bench is Dubravka, Senesi, Rodon and Mark Yu. I mean, Senesi versus Anderson is really 50-50. Fulham are on a 24% chance of a clean sheet this week, Bournemouth 21%, so not much in it. That's basically noise, 3% difference. Perhaps if you've got someone like an Ndai or a Grealish, then you could chase the maximum upside and start Senesi to avoid having that attacker versus defender. So moving on to the top all-timers, final thoughts and tips. Here's what they wanted to say to you for Gameweek 11. Rupe has been humbled and is buying João Pedro back. I can't believe I'm bringing back João Pedro after selling him for Mateta last week. But possible injury for Gyökeres is the perfect time to free up some money, and Chelsea fixtures for the next 2 are great. And because I've got 4 free transfers starting this week, we have to use all of them in Gameweek 15 just to get the additional 5 transfers, so now is the perfect time to attack. So I'm also going to upgrade my 8th attacker Reinders for Ismaila Sarr and using my bench boost this week. My plan is to free hit in Gameweek 13 because I've got double Chelsea attack versus double Arsenal defence, and also slightly difficult fixtures for Palace players, Man United home. Bruno's got Palace away, Semenyo Sunderland away, and Dyer Newcastle home. And also my defence are playing away. Actually, those fixtures aren't that bad, but I'm not sure there's a better game week to free hit soon. In Game Week 13, I can attack with Liverpool and City players who are rotation risk and not my type of players for longer holds. So now is the time to figure out how you're going to use your chips for the first half of the season and how you're planning to use your transfers before Game Week 15 and 16. 3 Powell is deliberating Saka or going for a cheaper midfielder instead and spread the money around. Switching to a 3-5-2 formation, just not sure yet if I go to Saka and leave myself with nothing in the bag, or should I get Sarr/Rice and still have some money, for example, to buy some Liverpool players for Game Week 12 such as Van Dijk or Szoboszlai. Vitesse says more and more players are nailed and our teams look more alike at this stage. The next few weeks it's going to become harder to differentiate. The biggest opportunity might be at the selection of your midfield, but we haven't seen so many high performers there yet. I'm going to roll my transfers and wait for a clearer picture. Thanks very much for watching. Hit subscribe if this was helpful and like the video. We'll see you soon for the next one.